But your audience, we're live, but they're listening to a song right now. They're not listening to our banter, are they?
Not yet. Not until I turn
Oh,
the
okay,
mics
that's what
on.
I
Yeah,
thought.
not until I turn the mics on. We have about 3.5 thousand people listening right now.
And I did put it on my Goddess Central page. But Facebook messed everything up, and they pretty much ghosted a lot of pages if you don't pay for advertising.
Of course. All right, we got 20 seconds. We're gonna go in, okay?
Mhm.
I'm gonna play our intro after this song, and then we're gonna go right in.
Okay.
Hi, baby doll, what's up?
Did you meet your fiance between the ages of 24 and 27?
Yeah, she's 27.
No, did you meet her when you were between the ages of 24 and 27?
I did.
Okay.
All right, we're going in. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Like I said, we have B here in the building, which is a psychic medium, and I'm super excited to be interviewing you today because Devin's been telling me a lot about what you do and who you're in tuned with and everything. And before we get into readings and everything, I kind of want you just to kind of let everyone that's listening exactly who you are and and what you do.
Okay, certainly. My name is Beatrice Moreau, and everybody calls me B. And for 34 years, I've been a Vedic astrologer. Vedic astrology is the original and only true system of astrology that was developed in 6000 BC. And then later, the Greeks brought this system and pretty much messed it up because Western astrology is not nearly as accurate. Vedic astrology was developed by the ancient rishis. Rishi means enlightened one or seer, and that's what I am. And when I look at a chart, I feel as though the planets are actually speaking to me and letting me know how the person I'm reading for is using their energies. So when you are born at the time of your birth, it's like you come to this earth and you do absolutely have a plan. And Vedic astrology is about that plan. It's about your karma, your life lessons, which lead to your dharma, your life purpose. It's not at all about personality traits, which is what the focus of Western astrology often is. I have two sisters. We're all three born on August 20th, but different years.
That's
58.
amazing.
I was born in 60 and my younger sister in 64. And we live on three different continents and we're completely different.
Could I tell you something?
Now,
Actually, my dad, my brother, and myself are all born on the 16th of a different month.
isn't that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I have been reading since the age of 30, since 1990. And I read for a lot of celebrities, and and as a result, one of which is Robert De Niro from 1996 to 2000. In that period, a lot of his deceased friends started coming to me, and interestingly enough, they actually help people on this earth in a very dynamic way, and that's what led me to you today. There's no Devin, who I read for and had a wonderful conversation with, wasn't meant to be here today. You were meant to just interview me today, and then Devin, as I spoke to him, we will do another interview another time.
Yeah.
But today it's about you,
Yeah,
and I
I'm
hope
very
you're okay
curious.
with that.
Yeah, I'm more than okay with that. And like you said, it was supposed to be this way. That's how it was supposed to work out today.
And I did a Devin's birth chart when I read for him a few weeks ago. And then you called me and I got the hit to look at your birth chart, and I immediately said to you, you have an excellent chart for the performing arts, including music and comedy. And you said, I'm a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Well, perfect, because then Tupac Shakur, who actually was going to do a movie with Robert De Niro before he was tragically shot in Las Vegas.
I didn't know that actually.
Well, most people don't because it never happened,
Huh.
right?
Yeah.
But when I was 16 years old, this is part of my purpose in life, my dharma, my life purpose, is to teach people how time is circular. Everything comes back in the circle of life. Time is not linear like most people think. It's circular. So events that occur, like in my case, when, as an example, when I was 16 years old, 1976, I was watching the movie Taxi Driver, and when Robert De Niro came out on the screen, I heard that inner voice, my intuition, say, "You are going to meet him when you're 35 years old." And I did. At 35 years old, long story short, I was reading for my friend Robin Wright. I saw her getting married to Sean Penn, and I did her makeup. I was a makeup artist in the 80s, and I've known Robin since she was 11 years old. When she was 17 and I was 23, we were both in Paris. I was doing makeup. She was a model. And I looked at her and I said, "My friend, you're going to be famous." And 2 years later, she was on the show Santa Barbara, a soap opera. And then she was the Princess Bride.
Wow.
And then in 1996, I'm 35 years old, and I got the hit she was going to marry Sean, and she did, and I did her makeup. And when I finished, I went downstairs, and there's Robert De Niro sitting on the couch. And when he saw me, he jumped up and said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Beatrice." And he says, "Are you an actress?" I said, "No, I'm an astrologer." And he said, "Oh, you look at the stars and all that." And I said, "Yeah, I'm looking at one right now." And he said, "Can I have your phone number?" And I said, "You want my phone number?" And he says, "Yeah." And so I gave it to him. And I run upstairs and I'm like, "Robin, guess who just asked me for my phone number?" "Who?" "Robert De Niro." She goes, "But B, he only likes black women." And I said, "My friend, I am a black woman. Just call me white chocolate." And he called me in July. And now here again, this is what I mean about time moving in a circle.
Yeah.
In 1989, I saw a movie called Cinema Paradiso. It won Academy Award for Best Picture, Best Foreign Picture.
Okay.
It's a French-Italian movie, and the soundtrack is absolutely exquisite by Ennio Morricone, who did all the spaghetti westerns of Clint Eastwood. And I bought the soundtrack. Now, that's 1989. It was a cassette. Now it's 1996, and Robert De Niro calls me in July. He says, I'm here this weekend and next weekend, and I'd like to see you." I said, "Okay, next weekend would be better." And as I'm leaving, I hear my main spirit guide, Merlin, say, "B, bring the soundtrack from the movie Cinema Paradiso." I arrive at the hotel. He opens the door. I said, "Bob, you know what I do for a living, and my guides asked me to bring you this. It's my favorite soundtrack from my favorite French-Italian movie, Cinema Paradiso." And he goes, "Whoa, that's really weird." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I just wrapped that movie today."
What?
And I said, "What do you mean?" And he says, "They're re-releasing it in English, and I'm the voice of Philippe Noiret." And I was myself stunned because I just listen. I never question my guides, and I'm here to teach people we all have spirit guides.
Yeah.
A perfect example about celebrities, for anybody listening, a client of mine said, "B, who are my spirit guides?" Well, that's an interesting question. It depends on what you're doing. I have my Merlin, who's with me all the time. When my mother crossed over in October of 2020, she's with me all the time. But then I have a lot of celebrities around me. But with a celebrity, and this is something that is very, very difficult for people to wrap their heads around in this dimension. I said to him, if 1 million people are thinking about Elvis Presley, he's aware of every single one. And that is not something we can comprehend in this dimension, but that is the truth. And I said to him, who's your favorite celebrity? He says, Bruce Lee. I said, well, that's interesting because I had a dream about Bruce Lee in the 90s that was so real that when I woke up, I thought he'd be sitting next to me. And immediately somebody on his Facebook page sends him a meme from the Bruce Lee fan page that says, be water, my friend, which is my favorite quote and the name of his biography.
Okay.
And he was freaking out. And I said, see, we're talking about him. He knows it. And boom. That's a validation, a confirmation.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that's what I'm here
amazing.
to teach. Now you, my dear, I did your chart, and what did I ask you about June? I said, are you moving in June? And what did you say?
My lease is up.
In June.
Yeah.
And then I said you need to buy a house or rent a house. Buying one, of course, would be better, but if you're not able to at this time, you should rent a house because I want you, and I got the hit to tell you to create a studio. You need peace and quiet, and you need to transform either a garage or one of the rooms into a soundproof studio where you can rent it out at $150 an hour. And it just so happens that on May 15th, I was guided to the Invisible Studios in Los Angeles that does the Sarah Silverman show for a media outlet called Lemonada, which is run by women apparently. And I thought it was funny that they were called the Invisible Studios because I deal with what we think is the invisible world. It is visible, it's only visible through your inner eye in the middle of your forehead.
Okay.
And that's what people have forgotten. And the reason they've forgotten is because women like myself were persecuted for hundreds of years during the Inquisition in order to completely annihilate that direct connection to the other side and replace it with ancient scriptures written by a bunch of goat herders a few thousand years ago. And we have been literally taught a bunch of nonsense ever since.
Right.
And that's my personal opinion, but I respect everybody's beliefs, but the truth is the same for everybody.
Yeah, that's very
and
true.
Beliefs are different. And unfortunately, because it's come to the point where people just kill each other over their beliefs.
Right.
No, mine is the true religion. No, mine is. And so now I happen to ask for their, and then today my guides were telling me to tell you that you're going to be moving and to get a house and to turn one into a podcast studio and do other work as well, because here you are doing this radio show, so you know how it works.
Correct.
And you can develop it further and learn more. We never stop learning. I'm 63 and I'm always learning.
Yeah, and
never stops. So I'm going to send you, I was given a rate sheet. I'm going to send it to you. And that's the reason I was guided to the Invisible Studios. And the man is lovely that runs the Invisible Studios. We had a nice chat. And that's going to help you to establish what would be appropriate rates for creating your own podcast studio. Now, guess what the name of your podcast studio should be? And it's a flip of your radio station name, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
What is the name? I'm curious.
KUHS.
KUHS?
Because when I accidentally wrote KUHS, and of course Tupac and KUHS 420 goes hand in hand, right? Snoop Dogg, let's go, smoke a spleef, do a podcast.
That's fair, and it's funny because you actually were talking about how my girl should be my manager because I actually don't smoke weed, but she does.
Yeah, well, I smoked my first spliff when I was 13, and I was like, okay, I think I can hang out on this planet now.
Yeah, I was about 14. I want to get the zombie on the phone because he's done my reading as well. And I've known the guy for over 10 years, and he's done my reading as well. And I kind
Well,
of
you haven't
want.
done your reading for the show. Let me finish very quickly,
Yeah.
because I do in Indian astrology. You have what are called dasha periods that are dated planetary periods from the time that you're born for 120 years. You have your major dasha from a 7 year Mars period to a 20-year Venus period. You have your sub periods and your sub periods. In a chart, you have 12 houses. Each house rules over a different aspect of life. When you're born, the time of your birth determines your rising sign, which is your first house, which is you. And you have Capricorn rising. So Saturn is your ruling planet in this life.
Correct.
And you, like me, you have the Lord of your first house, Saturn, in your second house of money that's made through one's natural talents and abilities, including the spoken word and the written word.
Correct.
And you have Saturn in its own sign of Aquarius in your second house.
I do, but real quick, B.
Uh-huh.
Because I've had the zombie do this reading for me too. I want to get him on the phone so that what you're saying, I want him to also compare it to when he did it for me too. So like,
But what do you mean he did a Vedic chart for you?
yes, he's very in tuned. He's one of the guys that I trust completely when it comes down to this. And I want to get him on the phone so that I'm not joshing. I want you to continue your reading for me so that he can also hear
Yeah,
it.
he's welcome to. When
That
you
would be
said
great.
reading, I didn't realize he did your Indian astrology chart.
Yeah, he did the whole thing for me. So I want to get him on the phone so that he can listen to your reading for me as well because he's my brother and has done this. And I want
Sure, that's
for
fine.
him to listen as you do the reading for me. Is that okay with you? Let's get him on the phone real quick because I want you to continue your reading with him being on the phone with me or
Okay,
with us.
that's fine.
So we talked about how to figure something out. What's that? You remember that lock?
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, buddy, I got a B on the line here, and she's doing my reading, and I know you did my reading as well. And I kind of wanted to have a comparison, so I want you to listen to what her reading
Now,
is
can
for
you
me.
introduce him to me, please, and what his name is besides Zombie?
Yes, I'll let him do that.
Oh, hell, you're asking me. My name's Devin.
Mike?
Ironically.
No,
I
Devin.
can barely hear.
Here, let me put it closer.
My
One time.
name's Devin. My name's Devin as well. Ironically enough.
Can you hear him?
His name is Kevin?
Devin.
Devin. Oh, really?
He's
Okay.
also a Devin.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's my first Devin best friend, brother. I've known him for.
I'm your first.
Now, Devin, you do Vedic astrology?
Did you hear?
No.
Well, no, not really. She said astrology. Am I into astrology?
Austin just said that you did a reading for him and that you were a Vedic astrologer. I think he's mistaken. Is he mistaken?
No. I mean, I did a tarot reading for him and I did a numerology reading for him.
Right, but that's not Vedic astrology. But it's totally, I'm honored that you have joined us, but I didn't think you were a Vedic astrologer. So
No,
just for your
no.
audience, tarot readings and psychic readings, and I do the same as well. But that's completely, totally different than Vedic astrology.
See,
Okay,
I just
so-
don't know the difference, and I trust Devin my readings. I was just trying to have him just kind of listen in
No,
because he
right, but
knows
I'm
me very
thinking of your
well.
audience. I'm thinking of your audience and what they're listening to. So let's get back to you, Austin.
Perfect.
And because what my understanding was that he was also a Vedic astrologer, so he would know what I'm talking about. But he's an intuitive and an empath, and he reads the tarot. It's not the same thing, but I'm delighted that he's joined us. And so, what I wanted to tell you, my friend, is the reason that I asked you if you had met your fiance between the ages of 24 and 27. The reason, and you said yes. because on February 8th, 2019 till February 7th, 2022, you went into a Venus period. When we look at love, we look at the 5th house of karmic relationships and romance. We look at the 7th house of intimate partners, important relationships, including business partners. The 1st house is you, the 7th house right across, is other people. And we look at Venus, the goddess of love, who rules the wife. And we look at Jupiter, who rules children and the husband, amongst other things. And so you met, do you remember the exact date that you met your beloved?
As back in early 2021, probably around February or March.
Of February or March of early 2021, correct?
Yeah.
So January 11th, 2021 till July 3rd, you were in a Saturn period, which is your ruling planet. You were in your Venus period, you met your beloved, and on January 2nd, 2023, you went into a moon period until July 3rd of 2024. Now, this window of January 2nd, 2023, you're in your exalted moon in your 5th house of karmic relationships and romance, and you are now engaged. And when do you plan on getting married? Do you know?
October 8th.
You set a date?
Yeah, October 8th, 2024.
So October 8th of 2024, you'll be in a sub period of Jupiter, which rules the husband, and also a wonderful time for you to get married. And then you are going to be ending what is called your major Rahu period that started when you were 12 years old. So look at what a wonderful event that you are going to have in your sub period of Jupiter. Then you, on July 25th, 2025, this is going to be a wonderful period in your life. If you listen to the guidance, you will be set on your way to fulfilling your dreams of being a hip-hop artist yourself. But I see you on a level of a Suge Knight without going to jail. On a level of a Dr. Dre or you know, someone that produces, Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart, producing as well as performing. When your Jupiter is in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, you're about to go into a sub-period of Mars, and it's the Lord of your 4th house, which is your home, where you live, which is why I asked you if you're moving in June, and you said your lease is up in June. And I advised you, this is what I do. I don't predict the future. I advise you to take actions that even your own heart might be telling you, but then fear and doubt comes in, and that is the destroyer of dreams. So your Mars rules your 4th house, and it rules your 11th house of the public, the masses, profits and gains, the selling of goods and services, where you have Jupiter, who is the most benefic planet. It's about expansion and growth. And you start your major Jupiter period in the date that in 2025. So that's going to be like a 16-year period. I'll check in a second, but it rules your 3rd house, which is the house that rules entertainment, radio, film, television, and the internet. It also rules the government. It rules big business and corporations. These are all things that you're going to be dealing with as you grow. And that's what Jupiter is about, expansion and growth. Since the age of 12, the Rahu period is real up and down roller coaster ride. Rahu, it can be very, very challenging at times. You have Venus, which rules the wife, in your 10th house of business and career, conjunct Rahu. It is imperative that you and your wife work together. I was just saying this to another couple who've been together for 14 years, a writer, actor, and his psychotherapist who also want to be an actress. And it's very important. If you look at the most solid, like the best careers in show business, Tom Hanks, Paul Newman and his wife Joanne Woodward. Even Robert De Niro, his production partner, Jane Rosenthal, they've been together for a very long time. But if you look at even Killian and the directed, what's the guy that just won the Academy Award for Best Picture, the director, very devoted husband and wife, to his wife, both of them. When you have the right woman, and the right woman is not someone where you go on your separate ways and do different work. You work together. You build a life together, and that is how you best prosper, is with your beloved, with your wife. She will handle, you said she was a manager at the old spaghetti house or something.
Old spaghetti factory, yeah.
That's going to come to an end, and she should manage the idea that I'm giving you about creating your own studio and renting it out for different, from podcasts to actual, songs and rhymes and whatever else. The reason that you're going to be very successful is because you have the moon in its sign of exaltation in Taurus, in your 5th house, which is the house that rules creativity and the arts. It also rules children. If and when you decide to have children, they will be incredibly gifted. They will literally choose you because you will be able to set the stage for them, literally, because you're already doing what you're doing. They'll be very evolved and very beautiful souls. The Lord of your 7th house, which is your wife, your important relationships, is ruled by the moon. Cancer rules the moon, so you have the Lord of your 7th house, the moon, in your 5th house of creativity and the arts. You will have many different talents that you will be representing. You said you're a hip-hop artist, that's fine, but you are going to be representing other hip-hop artists. I want you to really look into Kevin Hart, the comedian, as a role model for business. I love that guy. He's hilarious, and he has all kinds of businesses, and including vegan fast food, and I'm a vegan myself. That is something that, we need to start taking care of Mother Earth. And that's the thing about Tupac, is that he was a spiritual warrior. He was not just, he was a philosopher, and he was, he came here to raise the consciousness of his community that has been deeply suppressed and oppressed for so long. And, I'm blessed that he chose me to come to in 2002. I went to a George Clinton concert, and he was writing songs with George Clinton before he was shot. After the George Clinton concert, I'm 42 years old. I wasn't a fan of Tupac. I was too old. I was a fan of George Clinton. That to me was that was my heyday back in the 70s. Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee. Yeah. George Clinton even pulled me up on the stage and did a booty dance with me at the House of Blues, which is where I saw him. It was a gift. I didn't even buy the ticket. Some guy just said, "Hey, do you like George Clinton?" I said, "George Clinton, that's my daddy." And he invited me, and I sent you the pictures of that night.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded. I don't know if you can show that picture or not, but I'm standing, the guy in the zebra hat is Marvin Gaye's son, and Archie in the suit on my right is George Clinton's manager at the time. And then that night, Tupac Shakur came to me in a dream and rapped to me all night long, and he was holding a dog on a leash, Doberman, and there was Biggie Smalls and Eazy-E behind him in silhouette. And he was rapping and rapping and rapping, and then in the morning, my girlfriend calls me, and she says, "B, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, a little bow wow wow without the yippee yo yippee yay, because I'd just broken up with my boyfriend." And she goes, "B, I have to come over right now." And she's a photographer, and she just did an album cover of Little Bow Wow, Beware of Dog, his first album. That's how spirit guides work. They just constantly guide you to little things that make you believe, that they're there. And then my first little rhyme I put on my voicemail. Your life is a movie. Do you prefer drama or comedy? If your script needs a rewrite, I can help you see the light, see who you really are, so you can shine and be a star. Then play your divine role to help make this planet whole so we can be one nation under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm giving you the mic. What do you want to say?
It's actually just very interesting, just to kind of hear everything that you've been saying, and like I said, I was very curious to hear what Devin was telling me, because I didn't really get too much of a background of what you've done and who what you've accomplished and who you've talked to, and what you're telling me is it's actually very interesting. Like it's making me think a lot. You know,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of things that I'm like, you know what? Yeah, because we might grow all a team, and it's kind of funny. Like right now, yeah, we're not working together like as a team, but she is a manager, and she actually pushed me to become. I'm a bar manager now, and without her push, I wouldn't have, probably tried pursuing being a bar manager, and I'm doing really good at it. But with the podcasting and everything, like I think that if I pushed in the right direction, and we work together, and the connections and everything that's gonna be coming forward and everything, like there's a good possibility that that we could do what you
Not
were
a good
saying.
possibility. This is the way you succeed. She is your rock.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so treat her like a goddess.
Oh, I do. Actually, you know what her nickname is for me?
What?
My Des, which
Oh, yeah.
translates in French to my goddess.
Ma déesse. I am French, my dear.
Oh, I just say the
My
white way, I
déesse,
guess.
you're absolutely right, my goddess.
But that's what it translates to. She calls me Monloup, which is my wolf, because my last name is Howell.
Mon
So,
loup.
Mon
You gotta
loup.
get your little accent.
I got it.
You American.
Yeah, I am. Sorry. But it's funny that you say that. Yeah, so it's
And
funny
the
that you
wolf
say that.
is the teacher of the clan. The wolf is a teacher. They take one mate for life. They're very bonded in a group, but they also are very independent. The lone wolf.
Yeah.
But they are very much the teachers of the clan when it comes to Native American medicine. Before Christianity and before Abrahamic religions, people listened to the rocks, the trees, the animals, the earth, the sky, everything. We're dialed in. And then we're not going to go into all of that because I want to stay focused on, why you do well and in this business. But you still have a ways to go. So your Jupiter period hasn't even started yet. And then it starts when you're 30 years old. Also, at 29, you go into what's called your Saturn return, which means the planet Saturn, which changes signs every 2.5 years, is now right on top of your second house of speech and communication and money that's made through one's natural talents and abilities. And by the end of your Saturn return and the beginning of your major Jupiter period, your life's going to look very different. It's a 2.5-year period. It happens every 29 years. Before mine, I was a makeup artist. After mine, I was an astrologer.
Okay.
That's how different. But the makeup artistry was absolutely essential because it's the reason that I met Robert De Niro at the age of 35.
Yeah.
I had to become a makeup artist. And so everything is woven in this life. Like, we're all connected. That's why it makes me so sad when I see, race wars and all this stuff. If people would just understand, when you kill somebody, and this is the first rhyme that, and I'm not kidding you, I did the show, I don't know if you got the chance to read the story about how I ended up reading for Suge Knight. That's how dialed in I am to Tupac, right? And Suge Knight actually, after I said to him, do you want to hear a rhyme that Tupac gave me about karma? And when I finished, Suge Knight himself said to me, has anybody ever given you a rap deal? And I said, yeah, right, that's what the world needs now, the Susan Boyle of rappers. And then the other day, I spoke to a wonderful young man writer and his wife, and he said, Suge Knight, like, he was very, very picky, man. I'm amazed that he told you that, because he said that one time somebody kept bugging him and bugging him to sign him on Death Row Records, and he finally gave him a rap or something, and Suge Knight punched him in the face. I don't know if that's an actual fact, but that's the reason why his show, Unfinished Business, stayed unfinished.
Okay.
So this is how powerful Tupac is in the spirit world, and how your loved ones, your mom, your dad, when you pray to God, it's your grandma that's answering. It's your father, it's your mother, or some other being. But there's not just some dude up there named God. I mean, it's just absurd to even think so. So I have a dream, and Tupac Shakur and Johnny Carson just show up in my dream, but they don't say anything. This was in 2008. The very next day, I get a call from Dick Clark Productions. A man named Asaf Belcher, or something like that. He's from Israel, and he has a very heavy Israeli accent. He sounds just like General Morad from Sacha Baron Cohen's character. You know that character he does?
Yeah.
All right, so I answer the phone. Hello? Hello. My name is Asaf, and I'm the Director of Development at Dick Clark Productions. And we're doing a show about Suge Knight. And we heard that you channeled Tupac Shakur, and we want you to audition. I said, well, that sounds like fun. And then that night, Johnny Carson, by himself, comes to me in a dream, and he says, B, tell Dick that when he crosses over, his rap party is going to make his New Year's Rockin' Eve party look like an Amish wedding. I go to the audition. I tell them the joke. They all start laughing. Asaf says, I want to tell Dick Clark that joke. So I write it down, and Dick Clark himself, he's in his 70s, he's already had a stroke, calls me and says, what does this all mean? I said, it means you have a lot of friends in spirit that love you very, very much. And it means that's a party I would love to be invited to. That's what that means. And then we started talking, and I said to him, now, this is going to sound a little risque, but I've been celibate for the last 8 years because I'm very devoted to my service and I don't want any distractions. And I just heard Johnny say, B, tell him the only dick you like has a Clark attached to it. And he starts laughing, and I said, now I'm hearing a rhyme from Tupac about me. And again, it's just like that. I don't think it. I just hear it. My name is Beatrice. I'm a high priestess. I teach about the goddess. I'm like a virgin, touched for the very last time. I won't even let the sun go down on me, and the only thing I go down on is history.
Oh, damn.
So that's channeling, and I will explain to you why you have that ability, and I can help you to develop it. Astrologically, you have that ability. So that's channeling. You don't think. You just hear, repeat, boom, boom, boom. You don't think twice. You just write it down.
Yeah.
And when you channel the goddess, she always rhymes. Always, 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 always.
Okay.
So then Asaf calls me, and Dick Clark, he's saying, you're so funny, you're so sweet. Asaf calls me the next day, and he says, Dick Clark thought you were very entertaining. And I said, well, that's an amazing compliment coming from Dick Clark, since he's been entertained by absolutely everybody. I said, but you know what, Asaf, I'm so sorry to tell you, but this show's never going to happen. What do you mean? What are you talking about? We already have it sold. I don't care what you think you have sold, but the fact is that Johnny Carson does not want the name of his good friend Dick Clark to be sullied at the very end of his legacy by someone as notorious as Suge Knight. Suge Knight is not Donny Osmond, and Tupac does not want his mama to have to look at Suge Knight on television, because Suge Knight has some unfinished business with Tupac's mama. So I'm sorry to tell you, but this show's not going to happen. You're crazy. Well, I just heard Johnny Carson say the only thing you're going to be developing is a rash, because I'm about to irritate your ass off. And a month later, Suge Knight was arrested, and the show never happened.
Wow.
So this is why women like me were burned at the stake. I always say I've been burned at the stake so many times, I mean, like to cook. And one time I was reading for Arnold Schwarzenegger at a party, and I said, "Are you thinking of changing careers and going into politics?" "Yeah, I am." "Are you thinking of running for governor?" "Yeah, ruler of the land." And I said, "Well, you know what? I do see you becoming our governor, and you should use the environment as your platform," which is, he's a big environmentalist now. At the same time, this is a joke now, the universe has a great sense of humor. Merlin, my main guy, flashes a little movie of me being burned at the stake, and it's Arnold lighting this kindling wood. And I look down at him and I say, "I'll be back." And the last thing that Johnny Carson said to me 8 years later was, he came to me in a dream and dressed like Karnak the Magnificent, which was a psychic that he played, in a turban and a black cape. And he puts the envelope to his head and he says, "Oh shit, the bitch is back." And then he opens the envelope and he says what the Pope says when he finds out that Beatrice has reincarnated.
Wow.
So you see how dialed in I am, and everybody can be, but we've been taught the opposite, that, oh, you're not talking to loved ones, you're talking to demons. My sister-in-law, she's constantly telling me that, and I always tell her, the only time I'm talking to a demon is when I'm talking to you. So the other side, I'd much rather talk to the dead, and guess what Tupac calls being dead?
What did he say?
Doing everything as divine. Because he liked acronyms. I didn't even know this about him, I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
But do you want to hear the rhyme that Suge Knight wanted to give me a rap deal over?
I was actually about to ask you, yes.
It's about karma. And I wanted you to play the reincarnation. You can look it up on YouTube. It's an unreleased single of Tupac Shakur called Reincarnation. So I thought it would be the perfect lead into our interview, but we didn't have time. In any case, though, you should definitely listen to it. But this is a rhyme from Tupac about karma. The wheel of karma will turn until you learn that love is the key to opening the door of eternity. If you take the life of another, this is what will happen, my brother. You will bring the soul to earth. You will be the vehicle of their birth. So you may work out all your anger and your pain until all is forgiven and whole once again. If you're a member of the KKK, this is what I have to say. You can bet your white sheets, my friend, you'll be right back on this earth again, but this time with a beautiful black skin, because the wheel of karma will turn until you learn that love is the key to opening the door of eternity. L period, O period, B period, E period. Let's overcome violence everywhere. It's never too late to stop the hate, and that comes straight from G-O-D, Gangsta of Destiny.
I love that. Love that. That's amazing.
And young men, black men, I didn't know what it meant until they told me, but they're like, "Man, you be spitting."
That's amazing.
I'm like, "What's spitting?"
Yeah, right. All right, I'm sorry to cut it short. We are at our time, but
That's the perfect time to end it.
That is a perfect ending right there, honestly. And what I want to do is I want to call you personally, not on air, just to kind of get more of an understanding and hear
how's
more.
Devin online? Is he approving of our interview?
100%. Yeah, this is my show, and he was like, "Yo," and he was actually really stoked. He's like, "Yo, I want you to talk to her without me being there because, since you guys have already talked, he wanted us to have this conversation alone."
I'm talking about Devin the zombie.
Oh, the zombie. Yeah, he's still right here. Yeah. How do you feel, brother?
Oh no, I honest to God, dude, she said pretty much in regards to you, everything I've told you as long as I've known you in terms of what I think career path wise would be the most successful for you. So I'm very impressed. I think that it's an awesome individual that you've gotten the opportunity to interview, and I definitely think that you should, keep that relationship up.
Yeah, that's why I called you, man. I was like, I wanted you to hear this.
For you, Devin, my gift to you.
Say it one more time, B.
I said I would love to read for Devin on the phone there, my gift, if he's interested.
Oh yeah, I I love that kind of stuff. I'm a Pisces, so I'm all about the ethereal.
Okay.
Well, perfect. If you don't mind, Devin, I can send you your phone number so you guys can do that.
Yeah, link us up. That'd be awesome.
All right.
Oh,
So thank you so much for having me on the show, and I look forward to continuing, and maybe with Devin Alexander, we can do something else in the future.
yeah.
You know, I would be delighted. It was a pleasure. Thank you once again. It's an honor to connect with you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like, this was actually the most riveting interview that we've had, and like, to be honest, we've been talking for at least, I've been on the phone at least for Devin for about 28 minutes, and I've never had someone that was so in tune to be able to talk to, at least here on the radio, and actually really keep the audio, like the listeners viewing and myself being very interested as well. And thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing. And like I said, I want to call you again, and more than likely I want to hear more, because
Okay.
it's very intriguing. I really want to know, and you can ask, with Devin, he's helped me a lot spiritually, and find the right path and everything. He's helped me through a lot, and I believe that with someone like you can also do the same too. And you can never have too many people to help you through all that is life when things happen and go down, and to have more of an understanding. So thank you so much for everything. I really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and you have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
You as well. Thank you so much. And I want to get together with Devin, and yeah, we need to get you back on the show, and both Devin the Blessing is here, and continue this conversation. But I will also call
Yeah,
you
maybe we can do
personally.
a regular segment or something.
That'd be great. Yeah, I think I would like once a month we can have it just set up to where we do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right, my dear. You have a wonderful day, and thank you again. And Devin on the phone. I'm sorry I did hear the very last thing you said, but it was hard to hear you on the phone. But thank you for joining us, okay?
It was wonderful to hear everything you had to say, and I look forward to speaking to you later.
Okay, awesome.
All right, B.
Signing off now.
Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, hon.
Well, alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Devin, thank you so much for staying on the phone and hanging out with us. Like I said, I really wanted you to hear that interview and everything. And, it was definitely something a little bit different. And it worked out the way that I really hoped that it would. Of course, this was the Devin Howell Lounge here we had Beatrice, Maurice here on the phone over Zoom, and of course we had the original zombie, aka Devin, here listening and talking to us. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back to our regular scheduled shows starting as this week. It's been a pain in the ass, but Devin, thank you so much for staying and hanging out with us too, man.
No doubt, dude. It's kind of funny that no matter what, it was the Devin Howell Lounge, wasn't it?
It still works. It still works. Still have the Devin Howell Lounge.
Give me a call later. It was great to be on the show. Everybody, you better keep tuning in to the most interesting show on radio.
Thank you so much, brother. Hey, man, yeah, I'll call you here in a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll holler at you here in a little bit, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Later, brother. Alright, guys, like I said, we are going to be back to our regular tune show starting this week. We're finally back at it and working together. And I got a shout out to our guests that we've had today, and that was an amazing, very different show than what you guys are used to. And we appreciate everyone that stayed tuned and stayed listening. And, it's going to be something that's going to be a wild ride. And we just are moving forward and everything. And apparently I got a lot to think about. So stay tuned, stay locked. This was the Devin Howell Lounge here on KUHS Radio. Here is the Sarge with I'm Not Alright. We'll see you guys back here next week at our regular scheduled time. Peace.
She kept pressing. Was she there at the reception? Oh.
Bye.